Shalom to the hopeful elect of Israel. Let us give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honor to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and peace and endurance to the elect man doing the work, putting their lives on the line, week in, week out, day in, day out. Those that's been doing this for a while and those that's coming into this truth and putting their lives on the line. Salutations, endurance, and peace. Started from our elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down. Those that speak the same like-minded doctrine. I mentioned, not slacking, not I mentioned, but I recall hearing the elder, a Ramlon, mention about trusting in the Lord and spiritual bank account, and that's why I want to put this lesson together. You know, he was going to trust in the Lord and spiritual bank account. I was at the plantation. I was looking at this, and you know, all the brothers always mention about the spiritual bank account, how we are through faith, through the Spirit of Yahawashi, giving us that gift of faith. We're by doing the work that we're storing up our spiritual bank account. You know, in a time where a lot of people are moving carnally, you know, they move without the Spirit of the Lord. They move without the Spirit. They're storing up their bank accounts here on earth. You know, with that, I want to get a precept. Shall I go here? All right. Luke chapter 6. And verse I'm gonna start at verse. Wow, there's so much meat on this right here. I'm gonna just start at verse 21. It says, "Blessed are ye that hunger now, for ye shall be filled. Blessed are ye that weep now, for ye shall laugh." And you know what's so beautiful about this is that right now, when the world is everybody in it, while the world is in mirth and having fun and enjoying themselves, the elect, we're really barely holding on. You know, the Lord is throwing us up to, you know, as far as fasting, not enjoying ourselves in His life. Not every weekend we going out, you know, partying with the family or hitting clubs and things of that nature. Right? Honestly, we're grateful for our daily bread, just the little necessities that we have. Some less than others and some more than others, but still it's a balance, you know, amongst the body. Outside the body, you know, people need to check their check who they're dealing with. You know, if people around you are draining you and they're not adding to the situation, you need to do, you know, if they're not a part of the body, if they're not believing in Yahawashi, if they're not doing the works, if they're not a family, you have to check out, you know, what's draining your resources. But anyway, at the end of the day, a lot of us we're still being fed, but we're still hungry. We don't have the best of the best. When you got some of these Israelite camps out here talking about, you know, how they got Hellcats and you know, a certain way of living. You know, their living arrangements are higher upper echelon. The same thing with Christianity, right? Because in Christianity, you were perceived as someone that the Lord loved based on how you look, based on how you look, based on Him giving you a car, Him giving you, yeah, that's the scripture I wanted, but I ain't about to go there right now. That's the scripture we're gonna get to. But You know, maybe it's just telling me hurry up and proceed. But it's the same thing as Christianity, man. You take the awakening of being a Hebrew Israelite in the names of Yahawashi, and you twist it with the same philosophies of Christianity, as if being prosperous in this life and in this world and at this time is what's going to bring you, is what brings joy to the Most High. When Yahawashi said this world is not his, this world believes it, this world belongs to Esau Edom. You know, when Yahawashi come back, that's going to be the beginning. That's going to be the restoration of Israel. When he come back in his full glory, after the elect are chosen, after the elect are sealed, and these kingdoms are taken down, right? All these nations that got so-called power, you know, they said what's that in Daniel? I'm gonna come back to you, Salaki. In Daniel it say, the beast. It's Revelation or Daniel. I think it's okay. It's Revelation. All right. Revelation 17 and verse 12. It say, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast." And that beast system is Esau Edom. But you have all these other nations around. You know, you got China. You got Africa trying to get up in there, you know, so-called Africa, so-called China, you know, Ammon, Moab, Ham, and his descendants. You have Ishmael, you know, you have these other heathen nations that really think they're going to have power alongside with Esau Edom, which is the dragon, which is the beast, right? This beast system that we're involved in right now. They think that they have power as kings, or they think that they're going to be they're waiting in line to have a kingdom be brought to them, when Esau Edom is going to be the end of all kingdoms before the kingdom of Israel is set up, before Yahawashi comes into power. All right. Again, verse 12 it says, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no power as yet." Those 10 kings is talking about the other European nations. You know, the EU. Those that sit up there have a council. They sit up there and they have a worldly, what's that? The WEI, the World Economic Forum, the WEF, right? Them guys and you know, Salaki. No. No, thank you. Esau pussy ass. Right? It say, which have received no kingdom as yet, but received power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. And that's written in Daniel chapter 7. You know, these kingdoms, how these other heathen nations, the UN nation and the other heathen nations are joining together, you know, pretty much to have one mind, which is what? To implement the MOTB, to implement a system that's ran digitally, right? And then Esau gonna just step in and just crush all these other heathen nations to the point where, you know, well, even right now, they think that they're receiving power as kings 1 hour with the beast, you know, but Esau is a manipulative motherfucker. He make them seem like, you know, they're doing business and they're going to be compensated for what they're doing, but at the end of the day, this motherfucker, he envies his own bread. You know, he's envious at his own table amongst his own people. Why the hell is all these Edomites around the world going at each other, and have been going at each other since the time of Alexander? Alexander's 4 generals, they was going at each other. And now, in these days and time, it has nothing changed amongst Esau because he's insatiable. He can never be satisfied. He's a covetous man. A covetous man meaning he always wants what somebody he's envious. He always wants what somebody else has. And this damn AC is tripping me out. Let me turn this off. Salaki, y'all. Anyway, let me get back to this, where I was headed. Oh, well, keep me on the right path. Yeah. Luke, chapter 6. And I was at, 21? All right, it says, blessed are ye that hunger now, for ye shall be filled. And blessed are ye that weep now, for ye shall laugh. Because the time of Jacob's trouble for the elect, that's a time of restoration. That's a time where the faith that we've been building up in the heavens is going to be restored back to us. Which brought me into the lesson I heard earlier when I was at the plantation from Elder Apostle Ramlam and Elder Chana, right? And the elder had mentioned that trust and storing up your spiritual bank account, that we're going to eat, we're going to be okay, we're going to laugh. Let me get that. And blessed are ye that hunger now, for ye shall be filled. Because we're serving Yahawashi to the best of our ability. To the best of our ability. You know, when the rest of the world look at us like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? Why are you spending your time talking about something that we don't see, something that we don't know, something that's not happening at this day and time? Matter of fact, I'm going to go and get the other one. This is why. Isaiah 65 and verse 13, it says, therefore thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. What brings shame upon a person? When they know right from wrong, but they choose to do what's wrong. They made it in that they, not necessarily that they've chosen to do it, but because they lack knowledge, they lack the fear of the Lord, Yahawashi, their heart is set, their minds are set on accomplishing their lust. Whatever it is. Their heart is set on accomplishing their lust, which is primarily the rudiments of men. What they've been taught by basic men, Esau Edom, the basis of all men. You know, get in where you fit in. Obey your thirst. Do as thou wilt. That's what these people, especially the children of Israel, since y'all supposed to be coming back and repenting, y'all going to get, during Jacob's trouble, y'all are the target. During Jacob's trouble, 2/3 of Israel, y'all are the fucking target. And it's needed as a form of, I forget how it go. Let me get it. Let me see if I can get it. Salakia. Come. In the spirit, it just came across my head. Second Ezra chapter 16. Let's start verse 1 and say, but woe unto thee, Babylon and Asia, right? Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloth of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. the sword is sent unto you, and who may turn it back? Right. This is Yahawashi is about to send judgment upon the earth to all nations. To all nations. No one is going to be no one except the elect is going to be exempt. The Lord is ready to destroy this world. At the end of the day, that means everything, the fashion of this world is going to pass away. Everything that you thought was right, that you thought was good, that you thought was wholesome, that you thought was what the Lord wanted to be, or I ain't gonna say wanted to be, because everything is what the Lord wants to be, but you thought pleased the Lord, is about to be examined under a under a magnifying glass, and what's righteous is really going to be seen, and what's wicked is really going to be seen, and what's wicked is those that's not seeking the Lord, that's being rebellious, that's making an excuse to follow holidays, that's making an excuse to say that all nations are going to be saved, that's making an excuse to twist doctrine and come up with whatever feels good, whatever feel good doctrine they can to make people buy in to their lies. The Lord's about with a fine tooth comb, with a magnifying glass. The Lord is about to dissect. It's like in science class when you're dissecting an animal or a bug. That's what the Lord's about to do. He's about to dissect the hearts of men and see exactly where you stand at. You gonna lean on your own understanding, or are you gonna bow down to the will of Yahawashi? I'm gonna jump down to that verse that I needed, verse 19, right? I'm gonna start at verse 18. It said, the beginning of, no, matter of fact, verse 17, second Ezra said, chapter 16, verse 17, he say, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Because that's the time, Jacob's trouble is going to be a time where, I'll put it this way, you got to understand, you have to understand this, or check this out. The Lord has destroyed Jacob here and there, or he hasn't destroyed ultimately. He's punished us, the children of Israel. He's punished us from captivity to captivity. Jeremiah said, is Israel a homeborn slave? That's a form of being punished. That's a form of not being saved. That's what y'all don't understand when y'all say the other heathen nations are going to be saved. No, when you a slave, that's a form of punishment. How are you saved from being punished? All right, so everybody that still got in their mind that, the Lord going to preserve, the Lord preserved us to be slaves. That was a punishment for the children of Israel. We weren't saved. We still not saved. And these people still don't know what they're being saved from. Anyway, that's another story. It's a verse again. It's a woe is me, this Ezra. He said, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Jacob's trouble, a time like no other. The time that we're coming into, the time that we're dealing with, we're actually in right now. It says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do in these evils when these evils shall come? And here's the point, verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are set as scourges for amendment to change your ways, man. The famine. People, you see what's going on. That little thing that Trump did with taking out the food stamps, that ain't nothing. Not on America's already going through a famine. They're hiking the prices up. People are barely eating like they used to 4 or 5 years ago. Right? Food stamps ain't nothing but a little way of getting by, but people been trading their food stamps for other necessities. But now the price is going up. That's starting to cause a famine. People are having to select exactly what they're going to eat because people took advantage of it. And then you still get these ignorant ass niggas that still burn all these sweets and shit. They don't know how to cook for nothing. They can't make no food last more than a day. You got these niggas want to eat everything up in one day. They don't want to. They want to sit on their ass and they don't want to work and do a damn thing, but they want to sit on their ass and eat up all the food in the kitchen. But they won't make a meal. It say verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are set as scourges for a minute. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. And that's what's going to set the elect apart from the rest of the world, because the elect are storing up their riches in heaven, understanding that these times are not actually for them. These times are only for the rebellious, the stiff-necked, the proud. It's written in it's a list of those that let me see. I know I'm going to are not for the kingdom. Let me see if that's not exactly what yeah, but it did. I think it pretty much got me where I wanted to go. 1 Corinthians chapter 4. Yeah, that's over there. No, that's not. Yeah, but that's not the one I want. Let's go here. Yeah, that's the word I wanted. So okay, bear with me. You hear me? It was 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Read it for yourself. It said, know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. They're not going to inherit it. They're going to have to be born through the womb of a woman. They're not going to inherit it. What's happening right now is the Lord about to give, he's setting up heirs. Those is going to inherit the first fruit of Israel, the elect of Israel. The Lord is setting them up to inherit the kingdom. And what he's going to do upon that inheritance, he's going to, hey, come up here, come in the cloud, and hide yourself, shut up your chambers, hide yourself in your chambers until the indignation pass over all these nations. But we're going to be looking down, watching and seeing everything that's going on, everything how the Lord going to destroy these heathen nations. You're gonna have these heathen nations coming up against the chariots of Yahawashi, trying to shoot them down, whatever, right? They're gonna be doing their best to no avail, right? But the elect are gonna be watching from the skybox the salvation of the elect, the chosen of Yahawashi, those that have stored up their trust in the Lord, which is what I want to get back into. Those that stored up their trust in the heavens. Right? Because that's what it's all about. With that, let me go here. Let me see. Do I need to go back there again? Their consolation. Because the ones that's here on the earth right now, right? I keep on missing this fact or this point that I want to bring out. Right. Verse 21 again, it says, blessed are ye that hunger now, for ye shall be filled. And blessed are ye that weep now, for ye shall laugh. The Lord said the elect are going to laugh in the face of destruction. It's going to be laughter of tear and joy of salvation, because the elect is going to be scarcely saved. It's going to be laughter like the water Yahawashi. I don't have to go through that. You put the faith in me. It's not of our doing. The elect is going to be like, we know the only reason why we are here because you have mercy on us. Yahawah have mercy on us and deemed us worthy. That's the only joy. That's the sincere joy that the elect are going to have. Right? Verse 22 say, blessed are ye when men shall hate you and when they shall separate you from their company. Yeah, because the Lord don't want you to be around them people. If two cannot agree, how they gonna walk in the same path? Roughly paraphrasing. I don't agree with y'all. Y'all don't agree. We don't agree with y'all. Y'all don't agree with us. Right? They not like us. Right? Y'all not like us. We not like y'all. It's clear. Right? Carnally minded individuals are going to be against those that spiritually minded. That's what it is. Because when you're spiritual, you don't have to see, taste, feel, or you don't have to um, you don't have to believe things based on what your flesh tell you. We have a comforter, the Holy Spirit, telling us this is what it is. And it's outside. It's a different language outside of what you speak when you in your flesh. It's a whole totally different language. This spiritual language that's going on right now is not afforded to all people, especially. I mean, it's not afforded to all Israelites, especially any other nation on the world in the world. It's only conducive to the elect of Israel. Again, it says, blessed are ye when men shall hate you, and when they shall separate you from their company, and shall reproach you, and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. Yahawashi. Rejoice in that day, and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. The spirits are subject to the spirits. But here's the point. But woe unto you that are rich, for ye have received your consolation. Woe unto you who are full, for ye shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for ye shall mourn and weep. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well of you, for so did their fathers to the false prophets. Period, point blank, verse 27. But I say unto you which hear, love your enemies and do good to them that hate you. Okay, so the Lord is, telling us to heap hot coals on the heads of our enemies. And it's, and that's something that I'm doing my best to work on, Lord willing. Because when I even think a person hate me or got an issue with me, I don't want to do shit for them. I don't want to fuck with them. But I'm trying my best to work on that because I've been tested with that, lately. And I'm just trying to, it's like our elders and the apostles always tell, hey man, take the low road. Take the low road, man. It don't matter. Let them look at you like a bitch. Let them look at you like you ain't shit. Let them dog you. All that shit, man. Hey, we gotta. They did it to Yahawashi. They did it to Yahawashi. So the servant is no greater than his master. And at the end of the day, that gives us humility. Humility comes before pride. Slaki. Humility comes before honor. Right? And he that is prideful, a fall comes before, pride comes before a fall. So, right, we don't want to be in that prideful spirit, So on a daily basis, the Lord is correcting us and checking us to, just put on that clothing, being clothed with humility, Hey, all these things are the Lord's creation, So. And no, it doesn't make you a bitch. It doesn't make you any lesser than any of these people to be, humiliated, to be humble, And that's our duty. As a matter of fact, at the end of the day, just humble yourself to these things. I ain't saying to be a bitch. We're not saying that you bow down and do what these people want you to do. No sucker shit. And the Lord ain't raising up suckers. Just the fact that if it's lawful to keep things in the laws, don't let people don't bend yourself to the will of others, especially if it violates, the laws of Yahawashi. We're not just gonna go out like some bitches, because hey, eat this, eat that, eat some pork, You know, they do this weird ass act. You ain't gonna do no weird ass act just because these motherfuckers tell you to do it. Or you ain't gonna do no bullshit. No, you gonna stand up. You gonna be faithful until death in a situation like that. But you know, as long as making these people they think like they like they want to invite you to do something against the law, like fight or argue or debate. Man, don't even fall for that shit. Don't waste your fucking time. They look like they full, they hungry, they look like they got it going on. Let them have it. Let them have it. Remain humble. Adawan Ratazah, that he keep us humble. All right, so we putting on this elect, they don't, you love your enemies, of Israel. The other heathen nations, man, the Lord ain't talking about us loving them, because we already know that they out of pocket. They like beasts. But as far as our people that do us wrong and shit like that, to the best of our ability, just stay away from the motherfuckers. If you can't help, then help. But if not, don't stress it. That's just my personal advice, Shalaki. I ain't trying to go off, but that's my personal advice. In love, we ain't gonna try to hurt nobody, right? That what love mean. We'll rebuke you. We'll tell you, we'll give you 3 times to try to warn you what not to do. But after that, we don't got to. But other than that, we're not going to hurt you. We're not brawling. We ain't trying to fight nobody. We ain't trying to stab, murder nobody. We ain't on none of that shit. All right? But correction is correction, and that's all it is, That's the love that we're here to show y'all. All right? Back to the lecture at hand. Bank accounts. I'm gonna get this spiritual. Let me see what it say. Spiritual bank account meaning. Okay. AI overview. A KJV spiritual bank account is a metaphor for a person's heavenly account where treasures are stored, not through financial transactions, right? That's carnal, but through faith, right, and good works like prayer, acts of kindness, and giving. Works also like keeping the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, rehearsing the righteous acts, keeping the high holy days to the best of our ability. These things are good works. According to this concept, these deposits are believed to accumulate and can be withdrawn as blessings, such as divine intervention in one's life during times of need. The idea is based on biblical principles, particularly Yahawashi's teachings in Matthew 6:19-21, where he advises storing up treasures in heaven rather than on earth, right? Where moth and rust do corrupt. Yeah, we're building up a spiritual bank account with Yahawashi by trusting and believing His words, having faith in His words. And actually being able to see Him manifested in our life on a daily basis. Protection, a roof over our head, the necessities that He affords us with. Not wanting the best of anything, but just feeding us with. Let me get it. Convenient. That what I wanted. Yeah, this is it though. Still, Proverbs 30:8, and it states, "Remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee." Yeah, feed me with food convenient for me. And we know what's that main bread that we need? It's Yahawashi, the word of Yahawashi, right? What's my favorite precept? One of my favorite precepts, the word of the Lord is you can't survive off bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High. Okay, these are the words of confidence, the words of faith, the words of hope. That's to be made manifest. It said, remove far from me vanity and lies, the things that we've been taught from the world. The things that we've been taught from the world, how to make us a better person, how to make us successful, how to make us have this and have that. Fuck all that, you know. Give us the word of Yahawashi that we can live thereby. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Keep me balanced. Keep me balanced. Where people don't even see me, people don't even notice me, but we are sustaining. People don't notice us, but we're well sustained. It say, feed me with food convenient for me, the word, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take the name of the name of my power in vain. Right, you know. And that's going to be a great time of tribulation and testing in the times to come during the famine. During the famine, you know, the Lord going to have things stored up for us. We don't got to steal nothing. We don't got to go into nobody's. If somebody there, you ain't got to go into nobody's places and steal things and take things and you know, take things out of the mouth of other people, you know, harm people and all that type of shit. Keep it moving. The time that we coming into, hey man, it's plenty for the elect of Israel. His servants are going to eat. You know, and through our ways, the Lord, like it's written, you know, if our ways please Yahawashi, He's going to make even our enemies to be at peace with us. You know, if we do come across people that don't like what we stand for, whatever, man, the Lord going to make them not necessarily worship, but He going to make them feed us. Hey, give us drink, whatever. It's not the first time we've been through this. It's not the first time we've been through this. Since we came out of Egypt, this ain't the first time we've been through, you know, being like pilgrims upon the earth. You know, the Lord gonna bring us back into that remembrance. He's bringing us back into it right now. Remembering our old ways, what we've been through, what our forefathers have been through. You know, all of our forefathers been through being pilgrims. You can read it in Hebrews chapter 1. You know, in Hebrews chapter 1, it tell you, and what's that? Micah 2. That's not a place of our rest. The kingdom, when the kingdom is established, when Yahweh shall return, that's our kingdom. This is not our kingdom right now. This is not our place of rest. All right, and therefore we're storing up our treasures in heaven with Yahawashi. Where's Yahawashi at right now? Where's Yahawashi at? On the right side of the Heavenly Father. Where's that at? In heaven. And what we doing? We storing up our riches in heaven. Trust, through trust. Let's get that. Let's get that. Yeah, feed me with food necessary. I wanted to get that word, trust. Trust. Definition. Okay, I'll start here. AI overview. Trust can refer to a strong belief in the reliability of a person or thing or a legal arrangement where one party, the trustee, holds assets for the benefit of another, the beneficiary. Who's the trustee? Yahawashi. Yahawashi. He said, I'm going to prepare a place for you. If it was not so, I wouldn't even told you, roughly paraphrasing. And you got to believe that. What we was taught in Christianity, we didn't understand. We all thought we had to die and go to a spiritual place called heaven. And yeah, it is still going to be a spiritual place in a sense, but it's going to happen right here on earth. It's going to happen right here on earth. Let's say, again, I got to read that again. Trust can refer to a strong belief in the reliability of a person or thing. Who's that? Yahawashi. Yahawashi. You got to have a strong belief in the reliability of Yahawashi. He didn't die for no reason. The Holy Spirit didn't come upon you for no reason. Yahweh didn't set this whole thing up for no reason. For all of a sudden to hear a couple of these false prophets and teachers spill this bullshit for you to think that, you know, you don't matter anymore. For you to believe that everybody's inclusive now. No. If you are of the elect, you're an Israelite, no matter what you look like. Your bloodline go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and the Lord put it in your spirit that it bear witness. He's giving you the gift of faith to get up every morning, calling on His name. And if you're not to that point, you're seeking right now, and you're gonna come across that. You're gonna come across what the name of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son's true names really are, and you're gonna keep on seeking, and you're not gonna give up, and you're not gonna go back into the world, and you're not gonna make an excuse to why you can't do it, and you will not be deceived if you are of the elect. It says as a concept. No, I gotta read it again. Trust cannot refer. Trust can refer to a strong belief in the reliability. We have to no choice but to rely on Yahawashi, Yahawashi of a person or thing, because he's more than a person. He's an angelic power. He's a spiritual power right now. It's a legal arrangement, the second covenant, the second covenant. Even though we're not in that covenant right now, that's what's being stored up for the elect. The second covenant is being stored up for the elect right now. Having those new bodies, being called up into the chariots, having that feast with Yahawashi, the 144,000 and the innumerable multitude, the men, women, and children. All right? It says of a personal thing or a legal arrangement where one party, the trustee, Yahawashi, holds assets. What are assets? Benefits. The benefits of the kingdom. For the benefit of another, the beneficiary. Who are what? The elect. The elect is who the Lord ordained from the beginning. That's going through catching hell, not eating proper, all this bullshit, eating our bread, defile amongst the heathen, all this shit, right? Not the riches of the riches, but we got enough. We're being sustained through Yahawashi. It's going to be a time where the Lord, in the midst of the Lord, translating one kingdom to another, the ones that's on the bottom right now, that look like we not shit. Okay, cool. We're going to take that. We'll take that. Yahawashi had to go through that, right? But it's going to be a switch, a trade in places in the midst of that. When the economy and all this shit fall down, that's when you're going to start seeing the tabernacle of King David being risen up, because it's going to be spiritual. Well, everybody that's carnally minded, which makes them an enemy of the Lord, that's carnally minded, are going to be starving, unfaithful, unbelieving. They're going to be going through the thickets. The elect are going to be slowly risen up. Right? They're going to be seen. And they're going to be laughing at the famine. They're going to be laughing at destruction. Through the spirit and power of Yahawashi, giving praise and glory to Yah, singing a song to Yahawashi for every encounter that they scarcely make it out of. It says, as a concept, trust is a fundamental element of social relationships and cooperation, while legally, it's a fiduciary relationship for managing property. Right. Especially you men out there doing the work, putting your life on the line, coming up against a system that's about to, a leader of a system that's about to come down with great wrath because he don't like what you're saying. Well, why the hell all of a sudden you got the council culture? You can't say this, you can't say that, and they trying to make shit legal. It's illegal. You're coming. I forget the word for it, where you talk about. They're gonna call us T's. They're gonna call us T's. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? They're gonna call us T's. They're gonna call us all type of shit. falsely accusing. And they're gonna be you're gonna get y'all all y'all false accusers, all y'all bearing false witness against the men of Yahawashi. Hey, y'all gonna pay for that shit. Y'all gonna pay for that shit. It say I got a precept in my head, but I don't want to make this too long because I'll keep on going. It say for managing property, yeah, the elect men, the Lord, the ones that Lord gave a talent and they doing the work. He gonna give they doing the work to get back with usury, right? So the Lord can get his back with usury. You know, they didn't take that talent and wrap it in a napkin and said, "Oh, forget about it." You know, I ain't gonna do nothing with it because the Lord, you know, I know what kind of man he is. You know, he do this and he do that. He take where he ain't put at. And all right, man, you know too much. You talking too much, man. Just do the work. You think you know Yahawashi Well, you should read the whole story. You know, read the whole story. What happened to that dude that put his talent in a napkin and said he ain't gonna do the work? Yeah, read the whole story. Gnashing of teeth. It said, for managing property. Right, because those that do the will of Yahawashi and not deceitfully, you know, those that's been given a certain amount of talents, the Lord going to give them control over a certain amount of land. It say often used in estate. There we go. Often used in estate planning, according to sources. Matter of fact, let me get it. Let me get it. Trust. So lucky. Matthew 25 and verse 14, it says, for the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a far country, that man is Yahawashi, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods. And unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, and every man according to his several ability that trust, and straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise he that had received two, and he also gained other 2. But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. See, now that's one, you know, the Lord said, it's so much you can, man, it's so many precepts, you know. What's that precept we're going to, you know, he that do much with a lot. Let me see if I can find it. Right. The word of Yahawashi. Yeah. Luke 16 and 10. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. And he that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much. You get that? Whatever little bit the Lord gave you to work with, man, you use that to the best of your ability. If you lacking knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, you lacking those things, man, the Lord said pray and he'll give it to us abundantly. There's no reason why you can't represent Yahawashi, who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity. Thus says Yahawashi. Matthew 25 was verse 18. It says, But he that had received 1 went and digged in the earth. Come on. Went and digged in the earth and hid his Lord's money. After a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. See, that was a lack of faith. That was a lack of trust in Yahawashi, taking that money and using it what it's supposed to be used for, that talent. It said, after a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoneth with them. And so he that had received 5 talents came and brought other 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou delivered unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained beside them 5 talents more. His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful for a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. Right. That's what we were just reading about, right? About the places. I'm gonna get it again. After this, we're gonna get back to it, Lord, when it's up there. You say verse 22. He also that had received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou deliverest unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. His Lord said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful for a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Right? Enter thou into the joy of thy Lord. And that's what we want to do, man. With that trust in Yahawashi, storing up our spiritual bank account with the words of Yahawashi. Verse 24, Then he which had received the 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew that thou art a hard man, reaping where thou hast not sown, and gathering where thou hast not sown. Man, you striving above your pay grade. You striving above your pay grade. You doing too much more, man. You doing much more than what you paid to do. You know, you doing all that investigation. If you're doing all that investigating, all that time you doing investigating that you swear you know about something, you should be doing the work. You should be doing what your master tell you to do. But anyway, carry on. It say, verse 25, And I was afraid, and went and hid thy talent in the earth. Lo, there thou hast that is thine. His Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant. Yeah, the Lord don't want you to be slothful. And he don't want you all in his business. Well, we all doing the business of Yahawashi, but we all there's a level to this thing. We come in sitting at in the lowest seats, and according to the will of Yahawashi, he exalts us. All right. We're exalted by the Lord, not by our own selves. We can't boast or brag of our works because we're the workmanship of Yahawashi. Right? It say his Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, thou knewest that I reap where I sown not, and gather where I have not strong. Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchanges. Right. If you knew all this, you would understand how I got what I got. Put my life on the line. All right, put my life on the line. A life where I didn't have to, you know, according to the word, according to the law, I was straight, perfect, unblemished lamb. And you want to tell me about what I did? You should have did what I told you to do. If you love me, keep my commandments. It say, verse 27, Thou oughtest therefore to have put my money to the exchanges, and then at my coming I should have received mine own in usury. All right. Take therefore the talent from him, and give it unto him which have the 10 talents. For unto everyone that have shall be given, and he shall have abundance. But from him that have not, from him that don't do the work, have not, shall be taken away, even that which ye have. And cast ye the unprofitable servant into utter darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And that's the 2/3 of Israel, which make me want to go to Isaiah. Talking about, no, matter of fact, let me get that word trust again. Trust. Did I say KJV? I don't know. I'm just do it like this. No, I did say KJV. Let me see. I think I said KJV. KJV trust. I think that's what I said. Come on, man. Don't do this to me, man. I want to get that. I want to get that. I want to get that again, man. They're not going to give it to me, huh? The AI. AI. Don't do that. Why y'all playing with me? AI overview. So you're going to switch up on me, man. I should have doggone whatchamacallit it. It was just beautiful. I'll be able to see it when I go back over the lesson, though. But yeah, man. That trust. They're not going to give it to me, man. Fuck it. I'm going to leave on Isaiah. Isaiah 10. Storing up our riches in Yahawashi, man. Isaiah 10. Having that trust in the Lord. 20. In verse, Isaiah 10 and 20. And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel, right, the elect of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, West Indians, Haitians, and the rest of the speckled bird, those that look like the other heathen nations, but your bloodline go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and you have received the truth of Yahawashi 100% through hearing the word. You say that the remnant of Israel, and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob, shall no more again stay. That word stay goes into trust. We're no longer going to store up our riches here on earth and trusting in this world. Remain in the same place. Remain in a specific state or position, right? Stay put. That's not really the word. Break. Stand off. Wait. It's supposed to be trust. See, we go. That's what I want to do. Let's go here. The blue letter, it breaks it down in different language. And the real definition of it. Isaiah 10 and 20. A remnant will return. Those that storing up their trust in Yahawashi right now. Stay. Sha'am.
Strong's H8172. Sha'an.
Or Sha'an.
Sha'an.
To lean on, trust in, support. When you're supporting something, right? When you're giving your money to something, when you're giving all your energy to something, when you're putting your time in something, when you're representing something, when you're standing up for something, what you're doing, you're supporting it. You know, we're supporting the belief of the word of Yahawah Bashim Yahawashi. We're putting our trust in it. This is all we have. This is all we have at the end of the day. On the reliable one. Yeah, it say the one that we rely on. You know, on the trustee, Yahawashi. Again, Isaiah 10 and 20, it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them. We're no longer going to stay upon the words, the belief system of our enemies, starting with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, and all these other heathen nations, and even 2/3 of our people that tricked us into believing what these people were saying was valid. That's drunk off the wine of Babylon. We no longer believe in this shit. This shit is like, we dead to this shit, right? Or even better, This shit is dead to us. We living. We living. It say, shall no more again stay upon them that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, that trust. We're going to put down a trust in Yahawashi, Yahawashi, the Holy One of Israel, Yahshua, in truth. And we're worshiping Yahawashi, Yahawashi, how? In spirit and in truth. In spirit and in truth. To the best of our ability, call her like Yahawashi, Yahawashi. I hope this lesson is edifying to the hopeful elect. Let's give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahawah, Bashim Yahawashi, Bashim Ruchakadash, double honor to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Peace and salutations again to you, hopeful elect. Endure. Yahawah, Yahawashi, Batazar, endure. I'm going to close out like that. Till next time. Kwam Yasharala. Wa Abba Baba.